We're going to be learning lesson 9-8 today. These are the workbook pages you're going to need, 507, 509, and 511. So go ahead and grab those pages and then let's get to work. Today we are reviewing, adding, and subtracting mixed numbers. So we spend a day adding, we spend a day subtracting. Now we're going to do both together. Today is all about review, and practice. So let's talk about this question here. I've already prepped it because I'm an awesome mathematician, and I've circled the mixed numbers they give us, and I also underlined the question. So we're talking about this girl who has loaves of bread. She has 3 3/4 over here and 1 2/4 over here. And we want to know how many loaves does she need to wrap up in total. When you hear the word total, you should scream addition. So I'm going to start by writing these two mixed numbers down on my paper. I want you to do that too. And then I want to talk you through the steps in case you forgot on how to add a mixed number. When we're adding mixed numbers, we start with the fractions first. 3/4 plus 2/4. I want you to write that on your paper. Go. 3/4 plus 2/4. I hope you wrote 5/4. Remember, denominator always stays the same. Go right across with the numerators. Now I'm going to add my whole numbers. 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. When you see this answer, you should go, oh man, I have an improper fraction. So that means you are going to need to change this improper fraction into a mixed number and add it onto the whole number. So you can either ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 5 and what's left over? You can take away one whole and add it onto the 4, or you can divide 4 into 5 and write your whole number in your remainder and then add it on to the 4 5/4. I don't care what you decide to do, but I want you to try to figure out how to solve this in one of those ways. So I need you to take 5/4 and turn it into a mixed number and rewrite our answer. Go ahead and do that now and then select the right answer in the Edpuzzle. Okay, maybe you remembered how to do that. Maybe you didn't. I'm not sure. I'm going to show you how to solve this a few ways. And if you have already nailed this down, then you get a little bit of a review here. So what I like to do is ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 5? So I wrote it as a division problem, and it's 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4, and when I subtract, I get 1 left over. My answer is 1 remainder 1. I know 1 remainder 1 in fraction form is 1 1/4. So 5/4 equals 1 1/4. So I'm going to take that and add it on. My whole 1, I'm going to make 5, and then I have 1/4 left over. 4 5/4 is equivalent to 5 1/4. You also could have taken away one whole, right? And then added that onto the 4, and it becomes 5, and then you subtract and you get 1/4. Either way, I hope you picked 5 1/4 as your answer. If you didn't, that's okay. This is just the first problem. We're just warming your brain up, and we're going to do some more practice. So let's move over to the next page. On page 509, we're going to be completing questions 2, 3, 4, and 5 together. You will notice there's 2 addition problems and 2 subtraction problems. While you are working today, before you even start, you have to ask yourself, am I solving an addition or a subtraction problem? All right? Okay, so let's get going here. Number 2, there's not really a lot of room there, so you might want your whiteboard on the side to work, or you can squeeze it in there. I just want to see that you can get the right answer. I have addition, so I'm going to start by adding the fractions. 2/5 plus 4/5. Can you write that down on your paper? Go. 6/5, right? Now I'm going to add my whole numbers, 1 and 2, which is 3. But I'm in the same predicament I was in for the last problem. So what I want you to do right now is to fill in the new answer. What is 3 6/5 if we change it to a complete mixed number? We have an improper fraction here. So you're either going to take away a whole and add it to the 3, or you are going to divide, or I also forgot about this method. You could backwards C and then divide as well. 3 options. Pick the right answer once you got it. Go. Okay, I know in my head that 5 goes into 6 one time, so that's 1 whole added on to the 3, and then there's 1/5 left over. So my answer is 4 1/5. I momentarily forgot that we also learned how to backwards see and divide. So maybe you solved that way and you did 5 times 3, which is 15. And then you added 6 more, which is 21. And then you can divide 21 into 5. And it goes in 4 times. And you have 1 left over. 4 remainder 1 would get you 4 and 1/5. Either way, if you got the right answer, yay, I'm satisfied. Okay, let's go over to question number 3. I would like you to do this one on your own. I want you to add the fractions and then add the whole numbers and type your answer into the Edpuzzle. Go. Okay, guys, did you add up the fractions? And 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4, and then you got 3 and 4/4. If you enter that into the Edpuzzle, you're correct. But I'm really hoping that you actually entered the number 4, because 3 and 4/4 actually equals 3 plus 1 whole, which is 4. Okay, we haven't seen that yet, so I was just wondering if you pulled that trick out of your back pocket there. Okay, let's do some subtraction. We're subtracting now. You got to flip your brain a little bit. Okay, the first thing we need to do when we ask ourselves subtracting is the first fraction bigger than the second fraction? Yes, it is. So we can just subtract right away. So for 4 2/3 minus 2 1/3, I want you to do this one completely on your own. And when you've got it, enter the answer into the Edpuzzle. Go. Okay, guys, 2/3 minus 1/3 is 1/3, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So your answer is 2 and 1/3. Okay? All right, that's all you had to do. Boom, bang, done. Okay, let's take a look at question 5. This is a special one. Why is it special? Well, did you see that the first fraction is smaller than the second fraction, so we can't do it? What do? Okay, you have 2 options here. Remember, you can backwards see both of them and subtract, or you can regroup just the first fraction. And when we regroup, 4 becomes a 3, and then we add 1 whole to the fraction that's already there. And remember, the 1 whole, all you have to do is just add the denominator to the numerator, and you have your new fraction. Okay, I really want you to try to problem solve your way through this one. When you have what you think is the right answer, type it into the Edpuzzle. And if you're really not sure, just type in your best guess. Go. Okay, guys, if we regroup, we get 3, and then all I have to do is add the denominator to the numerator. So my new fraction is 3 and 5/4 minus 3 and 3/4. 3 minus 3 is 0. So all I have to do is subtract 5/4 minus 3/4, and my answer is 2/4. If you backwards seed and you got 2/4, you did it right. Good job. Okay, let's keep our brains moving. Just a couple more that I'd like us to do. Number 10, 2 3/5 plus 1 3/5. Can you add those together and put the answer into the Edpuzzle now? Go. Okay, 6/5 is my fraction and 3 is my whole number. If you put this answer into the Edpuzzle, you're so close, but you have to change it into no improper fraction. So if I take away 1 whole, I'm going to be left with 1/5, and I add that 1 whole to the 3, so you should have gotten 4 and 1/5. Did you do that? All righty, last one. Let's take a look at number 15. We're going back to subtraction. Flip your brain. The first question you need to ask yourself, is the first fraction bigger than the second? Can we subtract 1 from 2? No. So I want you to regroup 8 and 1/3. So right now, before we do anything else, the answer I want you to put in the Edpuzzle is to pick the fraction that correctly regroups 8 and 1/3. Go. Okay, if I were to regroup, 8 becomes 7, and then I add the denominator to the numerator, or 1 whole, which is 3/3. So my new fraction is 7 and 4/3, and then I just keep the second one the same. Now you can solve pretty easily. Here's the second part I'd like you to answer into the Edpuzzle. Subtract the fractions, subtract the whole numbers, and what do you get as your final answer? Go. Okay, did you get 2/3? I hope you did. Okay, that's it for practice on this page. After you finish the Edpuzzle, you're going to go to page 511. And on page 511, I would like you to start working on the bottom problems, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? While you're doing that, Miss C is going to be pulling different kids up to the front of the room, so be ready to do that. When you finish the problems on the front page, I'd like you to flip it over And I would like you to work on question 10 up at the top. You're going to take a look at this chart over here. And then I would like you to take a look at question 16 on the back side. If you finish all of these, please make sure that you today turn this paper into the black bin and then make a math choice. All right, good work today, guys. Keep those brains moving.